All right, good morning, ladies. Nick here again, going over another one of our clinics for this week. This week we are covering the driver. And I always often say when I open my driver clinics is that the driver is either our least favorite or favorite club in the bag. Very polarizing. No one just says, oh, I don't mind my driver. It's either I hate my driver or I love my driver. So we're going to want, for those of you that hated the driver, we're going to try to get you into that love category. And for those that are in that love category, you're probably doing a couple of these things really well to make you love your driver. So with the driver, it's really important to have a correct setup. And you'll see on our clinic sheet, one of the lines that I have on there is you can never hit your driver high enough. And that is just a little sentence I like to say that kind of encourages what we want to do with the driver. And that is a little different than every other club in our bag, to where we want to hit up on this ball. Okay, so what we do to encourage that upswing strike on the driver is a couple of things with setup. First off, we are going to set this all the way up to the inside of our front foot. So for my right-handed golfers, that's your left leg. For my left-handed golfers, that'll be your right leg, okay? And then so we're gonna set up, an easy way to do that is always just have your feet together like this, and then take one big step with your right foot, your trail foot, okay? So you can see that, again, I've got this all the way up here because, again, we are trying to encourage that upswing, that up strike, and try to hit this nice and high, okay? So the other thing we want to do when we set up is kind of have our spine and our body tilted back like this. So if you look at where I'm kind of lined up here, I'm not perfectly straight up, right? There's a little tilt right here. And again, I always like to say that trail shoulder back a little bit. You can see that angle of my shoulders right now is pointing up like that, okay? And again, all this is doing is encouraging us to hit that ball in that upswing right there. Generate a little more power, catch that swing on the upswing, okay? So again, just to recap, ball position really far forward, right shoulder down. I like to feel like, you can kind of see in the video, my head is almost behind this ball. I like to feel like I'm looking at the back of the ball. All right. And then swing wise, just like I know we didn't have our fairway woods clinic last week, but just like similar to the fairway woods, we want everything to stay pretty centered, right? What I don't want to see happen is, yeah, we're kind of set up a little back like this, but what I don't want to happen is us get stuck back here, because what's going to happen is you're going to hit way behind it. Or the other miss that we see a lot of is we start moving this way, I hit down on it, I have that really big pop up. Okay, so just to kind of go over it again, we're going to have ball position forward. I like, again, that right shoulder down, that trail shoulder down. Feel like I'm looking at the back of the ball. I see the practice on the range ball. That's what I feel like I'm looking at. And then I'm staying stable all the way through. And I'm keeping that head right there, okay? Because if I start moving back, I'm going to hit back here. If I start moving forward, I'm going to hit down on it, okay? So again, ball position, a little forward. I've got that right shoulder, that trail shoulder underneath the front one, and I'm going to keep this head positioned in the same spot all the way through, and I'm going to try to hit this really high. So let's see how this goes. Not bad. Yeah, so again, the keys with the drivers, you could tell it's our longest club in the bag, so we don't want to rush it, right? I'm not swinging as hard as I possibly can. Nice transition. My body's staying in that same position all the way through, and that's going to encourage that. Again, we're trying to hit this ball in the upswing. A really good drill to kind of help with that, just to end it with, is I'm going to set my ball up on a tee. I'm going to grab another tee, and I'm just going to put it a little in front of that. And I want us to feel like we're swinging out and over that tee, okay? Now, if I hit that tee, we know that I swung down on it, all right? So again, I'm going to set up, ball position forward, trail shoulder down, head behind the ball, and I'm going to try to swing up and over that tee that I just set up there. There we go. Yeah. So that's a really good drill. Again, all we're trying to do is encourage hitting that ball in the upswing, right? So those couple little setup tips and that little drill work, well, hopefully, like I said, we'll hope we can get you from I hate my driver category to I love my driver category. All right, thanks again. We'll see you a little later.